Hey everyone, it's Dr. Kara back. I am thrilled today to bring you a special cross-posting episode today. I have joined forces with two of my favorite allergist best friends, Dr. Meagan Shepherd and Dr. Patterson, on our new channel, Allergy Actually. Dr. Shepherd practices allergy and immunology in West Virginia, caring for both kids and adults with a warm, patient-centered approach. Not only that, she is an incredible interior designer and recently launched the Allergy Aesthetic to help people breathe better and live beautifully. Dr. Patterson is based in Findlay, Ohio, and is one of the leading experts in the world on intralymphatic immunotherapy, also known as ILIT. She is helping expand access to this treatment across North America as the CEO and founder of the Auni Learning Network. In this episode, we are going to talk all about the most natural ways to treat your allergies according to allergists. We're going to compare all the different types of immunotherapy, including shots, drops, and ILIT, who might benefit. And we share stories from our own practices and lives on patients who have really been able to cut down and even stop taking many of the allergy medications day after day, week after week, year after year. All right, let's get into it. Here's Allergy Actually, the most natural way to treat your allergies according to allergists, comparing shots, drops, and ILIT. And make sure if you like what you hear to head over to the Allergy Actually channel and hit subscribe. That way you catch all of our upcoming conversations really centered around allergies and how they affect our lives and our families' lives too. Here we go.
Love the idea of allergy shots, but just don't have time. Tired of frequent appointments for getting your injections? Well, maybe there's a faster, more convenient way to get you that relief from hay fever and allergic asthma. Get ready for Allergy Shots 2.0 as we dive into ILIT, intralymphatic immunotherapy, and help figure out if it's right for you. Ladies, you're both expert allergy shot allergists. You offer intralymphatic immunotherapy, ILIT, sublingual, SLIT, subcutaneous SCIT, traditional shots. Tell me, when you first heard about ILIT, what was it about it that you thought, wow, this could be a game changer for my patients?
We were both lucky enough to be in training whenever we heard about, I was, we talked before about how we all happened to be there whenever you were doing the research, and Dr. Kundig came over to give the talk about ILIT. And so I was fascinated. I had always thought, and this is, I can't remember if I was a first or second year fellow, but I remember thinking, I'd always just thought allergy shots were so much time. People just don't have time for that. I mean, we're busy, and shots that if you're ever told, hey, you can do these shots at home, they're not going to be, well, say they probably even shouldn't be as effective as a shot in the office because you need to be able to deal with the reaction. So you really need to be in the doctor's office. It's a ton of time. And being able to reduce it like that is an amazing thing.
I think I came from a similar adjacent frame of mind. One of the things you learn early in medical school is about, well, at the time we called it compliance, but adherence, how hard it is for us as humans, kind of human behavior. It's hard to show up time and time again. And I think through my experience and wealth of experience with sublingual immunotherapy, my initial thought was, gosh, if someone could do this at home, that might be more convenient. But we know it's still really hard for people to remember to take a medicine or a treatment every single day. I was talking to a patient yesterday who their eczema would be so much better controlled if he could incorporate putting lotion on after every shower, but it's hard to do that, right? And so, gosh, we know like the simpler things are, the less often or the less frequent we need to show up, the less total number of times we need to show up, the higher likelihood it is that someone will follow through to completion. And so, I mean, that on its own was like, oh, wow, this is a huge game changer.
It was faster to see a result. That's the other issue with allergy shots is they work, but they just work over a long period of time. And I'm very impatient, and yet I know that they're going to work. And I can't imagine how that feels as a patient who is sort of kind of doubtful, and it sucks to come for these shots each week. And thought like, wow, seeing something that works really quickly is probably the best way we can get people on board.
Yeah, I agree. It's like when we're thinking about any treatment, first, is it safe? Second, is it actually going to help the patient? But third, are they going to use it? And when we look at adherence data for SCIT, traditional shots, and SLIT, I mean, it's all over the board. There are some studies that show upwards of 80% adherence, but some 16%, and on average about 50%. With ILIT, we get close to 100% adherence. And I think a lot of that has to do with the schedule. Like you guys said, ILIT, for those of you who haven't heard of it, it's a off-label, it's not FDA approved, but using FDA approved extracts for administering allergy shots, ultrasound guided directly into a lymph node. And it's a more efficient process of delivery. So in terms of biomolecular logistics, we're going right to the source of where that antigen needs to go. So we can do one injection every 4 weeks. After the third injection, or 8 weeks, you're done, and you're seeing improvement within a month of finishing that treatment. So it's quick. And the other thing, currently not covered by insurance, but for a lot of people, your out of pocket for a 3 to 5 year course of SCIT is going to be around the same or even more potentially. So ILIT can be a cost savings for a lot of people. With that in mind too, I think that helps with the motivation for adhering to your treatment. If you know you only have to get to the office 3 times and you're paying for it, you're going to do it.
So as far as the off-label thing, by the way, I've had a patient who was hesitant and ended up not wanting to do ILIT because of that. And one of the things that I tell people now, after I've thought a lot about it, is that, like Amber said, the extracts that we're using are the same extracts that we use for regular shots. And when you actually get into the nitty-gritty of immunotherapy, there are actually only, 13 extracts that are standardized by the FDA. So in other words, most of those, and a lot of those are venom. So there are very few extracts that we use that are technically standardized. And I feel that for ILIT is just something to think about, that for whenever you have regular allergy shots, there are things that are not, it's not that it's not closely looked at, it's just that the FDA approval, I think, for that is not something that would put me off for that.
Mm-hmm. How do you approach explaining the safety aspect of ILIT? Compared, if you're explaining this compared to maybe SCIT.
So I talk a lot about mast cells, since I see a lot of people with some pretty irritable mast cells, taking care of a lot of people with mast cell activation. Mast cells on the whole are primarily found in our connective tissue, and there are very few to none found within our lymph nodes. Mast cells are the cells that are primarily responsible for causing those whole body allergic reactions, so those anaphylactic reactions. And so when we are directing this allergen directly into a space that has fewer mast cells than the place we normally would put it, that's one advantage. Now, certainly you are going through the skin, you're going through a little connective tissue on your way to the lymph node, but we do our best to prevent any kind of leakage of that allergen out of the syringe. And the other aspect is we're actually using a smaller amount of allergen compared to what we would put in that connective tissue directly with those mast cells. And so when I think of it for especially my patient population, who on the whole, I tend to see some very sensitive folks who kind of are the canary in the coal mine individuals. And in my mind, I feel so much safer, more controlled. We only have those 3 visits that we have to worry about compared to dozens, if not hundreds. And gosh, those are 2 really huge advantages.
That's another thing I tell patients too, is if I have a lot of patients who will say, well, I tried allergy shots, but I couldn't tolerate it because I kept having these large local reactions. Or, and honest, another example would be people who are scared of needles. And I'll say, well, the advantage of ILIT is you can have a large local reaction in the area. It's a lot less common, but this would happen 3 times instead of 100 or more times over the course of the next 5 years. And so doing that is much easier whenever you're just going to do it 3 times.
Yeah. And I'm not a statistician by any means, but when you think about the cumulative risk for the number of injections over time, you're reducing that significantly.
Absolutely.
So definitely.
Yeah. A couple orders of magnitude?
Mm-hmm. We need
it's
a
overwhelmingly
statistician to comment to help us with that. What'd you say, Meagan?
That it's overwhelmingly better than SCIT in general. Most patients really have very little side effect. I'm sorry, I got distracted because my dog started barking and the kids came in with a soccer ball.
That's our lives, right?
Yeah, I had my 6-year-old waving to me earlier. I was like, oh, go talk to your dad.
So efficacy, of course, is another thing that we think about when we're choosing treatments for our patients. And we can look at data and say, okay, there are these studies with this many patients that show that, one of the pivotal studies about ILIT was that first study out of the University of Zurich that Dr. Kundig and Dr. Senti and Dr. Johansson, their group, put out that was so eloquently written, where they compared a group of patients allergic to grass pollen treated with ILIT versus SCIT over a 3-year period. And they tracked all those patients and then they followed them up 19 years later. And to be able to show that what we're doing with ILIT is similar to what we can see with SCIT in terms of effectiveness and length of benefit of treatment, I think gives some confidence. But then actually treating your patients with a new therapy is kind of a next level of when you're using something for the first time. Sometimes as a physician, it's hard to know, gosh, is it really going to work for my patients? Tell me about, have either of you gone through that mentally, when you first started to maybe now where you've treated patients with this and seen how they get benefit from it?
I struggled a lot in the beginning because it is something that as of now in the United States, insurance won't cover. And so I live in West Virginia, and as far as median state income and things like that, we're always near the lowest. And so I did not want this to be something that a lot of patients had to miss out on. And I've initially felt guilty sort of trying to, I don't want to say sell it, but talk people into doing it because it is so beneficial. And what I ended up realizing was I saw patients getting better. And again, I saw SCIT patients get better, but it was after 5 years of therapy. But seeing ILIT patients get better so quickly, it was very soon that I realized that it was life-changing. And it wasn't something you really had to wait on to happen, that it was such a life-changing invention, I guess, that I felt like it was worth it for everybody to try to have it.
Mm-hmm. I had a patient one time, similar thing, early on when I was first offering it clinically, that was on Medicaid, that I did not suggest ILIT as an option for. And she heard about it kind of through the grapevine and came back to me and said, why didn't you offer this to me? I want to do ILIT. And I said, well, I guess to be honest, I didn't want to give you something that I knew your insurance wouldn't cover. And I just didn't think that would be an option. And she said, first of all, how about you worry about your finances? I'll worry about mine. I have a family member that's well off and wants to gift this procedure to me, and I want to do it. And I thought, wow, that was a really eye-opening experience for me, because we make assumptions about things. And I think especially in the medical world, we have this ethical dilemma, like you mentioned, Meagan, of we want to be able to offer things that everybody can have access to. And so I guess we shouldn't take cash-based procedures off the table in that regard.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the way this system is in the United States, getting something to go before the FDA, like we talked about, it doesn't behoove extract companies as well to advocate for something that uses so much less of their product. Mm-hmm. do we ever think that it will actually go before the FDA and then become something that insurance will cover? It may not, but I agree that it's something everybody should have access to. And so at least for us, we have, and I think all of you guys have done this, we have different payment plans and things like that. You can use your FSA, HSA to make it more affordable for everybody.
Well, thank you guys for sharing your experience about ILIT and being with us today on the show. Leave comments about what you think about ILIT and what you want to know more about it, how it works, anything like that. Subscribe, hit that bell. And
to find your qualified allergist through your area, you can check us out at the Auni ILIT Learning Network.
Good point, Dr. Wada.
Just put together this amazing network of these folks have really invested in learning and becoming experts in this area, really staying right in step with the science, helping contribute to the science. And so those are the folks you want to connect with, who are going to be your go-tos if you're interested in seeing if you're a candidate for this therapy.
And we've learned for the best, because I would like to point out again that Dr. Amber Patterson was the first in the world to do ILIT research in children and adolescents. So she is the head of the Auni ILIT Learning Network and got all of this started for all of us. So we are very thankful to have been given the chance to learn with her. So everybody should know what a big deal you are to us.
I appreciate that. So check out ILIT Learning Network and see all of our expert physician ILIT providers like Drs. Shepherd and Wada and others. And we'll see you next time on
Allergy Actually. Thanks so much for listening to this special episode from Allergy Actually. I have had the best time teaming up with two of my longtime best friends and fellow allergists, Dr. Amber Patterson and Dr. Meagan Shepherd, for this conversation and many, many more. I hope you found it both helpful and inspiring. If you haven't already, go ahead, hop over to the Allergy Actually channel where you can subscribe to get notifications of all of our future episodes. You can binge all the episodes that are in there, and you can leave a rating or review to help more people find the show. And of course, you can always connect with me directly here. You can make sure to go follow Dr. Patterson and Dr. Shepherd too. Until next time, take care and be well.